Hello, this is Mrs. Raksha Shirodkar from Shet Vidya Mandir English High School and Junior College of Commerce and Science. Last time we completed with the chapter number 1 from Computer Science paper 2. So today we'll continue with the same subject, that is Computer Science paper 2, but the chapter number 2. So the chapter name is Instruction Set and Programming of 8085. So this chapter is very important from the exam point of view for theory as well as for practical. So we have practicals for this particular chapter. In this whole subject, that is from Computer Science paper 2, we have only practicals from this particular chapter. Only from this chapter we have practicals. From none other chapter we do have practicals, but only from this chapter we have. Okay, so we will have to study the theory part first from this chapter, which is very important. If you do not understand the theory part, you will not understand the programming at all. So for the practicals we need to study the theory first. Before starting with this chapter, you need to study the theory part of chapter number 1 also. You need to know the number of registers, register pair, then what do you mean by 8085 microprocessor, correct? So we'll revise little bit. So from the first chapter, what do you mean by a register? We have register A, B, C, D, E, H, L, correct? So all of these register can store how many bit data? We can store 8-bit data from these registers. 8-bit data, and that data is nothing but which data? Binary data. So the microprocessor only allows binary data. So without the binary data we cannot store any other data. Okay, so since the microprocessor kit, that is 8085 microprocessor itself is of 8-bit, so hence we can store only 8-bit data. Okay, so register A is also called as accumulator, and A can store 8-bit data, then register B can store 8-bit data. Similarly, all the other registers can also store 8-bit data. We also have register pairs. Okay, so register pair means B, C, D, E from the registers itself, but we make a pair. So we have total 3 pair, B, C, D, E and H, L. Okay, so these register pairs store 16-bit data. How? Each of the register, if you take separately, that is B register, C register, these registers store 8-bit data, but if we take it as a pair, it will store 16-bit. How? 8 plus 8 total 16, so it makes a pair which can store 16-bit data. Okay, so now in the last chapter we also have studied the pin diagram, the block diagram of 8085, block diagram of ALU, then the block diagram of generic microprocessor, in which we have many blocks. So those blocks also you have to study very well. Program counter, stack pointer, what do you mean by accumulator? Okay, so we'll start with this chapter now. We have the very first slide in this chapter is instruction set. The chapter name itself is instruction set of 8085. So what do you mean by instructions? In the last chapter I have told you all that we'll be seeing instructions in the next particular chapter. So today we'll start with this chapter. So what do we have in this chapter is instruction. What do you mean by instruction? An instruction is nothing but a binary pattern which is designed inside a microprocessor to perform a specific function. Okay, and so instruction is nothing but a binary pattern, binary data. Binary data means 1 and zeros. The numbers are only 1 and zeros. Those are designed inside a microprocessor kit. The kit I'll be showing you after this chapter gets over. So how does a kit looks like? How do we write a program, and what is the program exactly? That I'll be showing you after this chapter which gets completed. Okay, so it is nothing but a binary pattern which is designed inside a microprocessor kit to perform a specific function. Now, if we take a group of instructions, it is said to be as an instruction set. Now, we have instructions in this particular microprocessor that we have to study very well, and depending on each of these instructions, we have to write the program. Okay, so the 8085 has total 246 instructions. Okay, but in a syllabus we have only 120, so we have to study 120 instructions very thoroughly. Based on those instructions we will have to write the program. Okay, so each of these instructions is represented by an 8-bit binary value. Each of these instruction is nothing but represented by an 8-bit value, 8-bit binary number. Okay, so these 8 bits of binary value is nothing but it is called as an opcode. So that value, that 8-bit value in that instruction is said to be an opcode, and that opcode is also called as instruction byte, but we will be saying it as opcode only. We can call it as instruction byte secondly. Okay, so this was all about instructions. And what do you mean by instruction set? How many instructions do we have? We have total 246, and each of these instructions store 8-bit value, and those values are called as opcode. Now the next slide that we have here is addressing modes. Now what do you mean by addressing mode of 8085? So today we'll be seeing, the whole video is about instruction set, then addressing mode. Since this particular topic, that is addressing mode, is little bit wider or say long, so hence this addressing mode will complete and we'll stop with this video. In the next video we'll continue with the same chapter. We'll be requiring many videos from this particular chapter. This chapter is very huge and very important too. Okay, so addressing mode, let us start with addressing mode. So addressing mode of a microprocessor is nothing but the various formats of specifying one of the operand. Operand means an 8-bit value that you store in those instructions, and those operand can be of 8-bit or it can be of 16-bit, but while writing you will cut it into 2 halves. If it is of 16-bit, you will cut it into 2 halves. You will make it 8 plus 8. How do we separate the register pair? The same way we'll separate the instruction data, that is opcode. Okay, so the operand can be of 8-bit or 16-bit, address or register, or it can be also implicit. So implicit and all these are addressing mode types. Okay, so to perform any operations, we have to give the corresponding instructions to the microprocessor. In each of these instructions, the programmer has to specify the three things, that is operation to be performed, address of the source of the data, address of the destination of the result. Okay, so the next slide is on the types of addressing mode. Now this chapter, since I told you this chapter is very important, so every topic is important starting from the very first slide. So all the slides are very important. Okay, this particular topic, that is addressing mode, had been come many times from March 2002 till 2019. So you have to study this chapter very nicely. So types of addressing modes in 8085. In 8085 we have total 5 addressing mode. Number 1, direct addressing mode. Number 2, register addressing mode. Number 3, register indirect addressing mode. Number 4, immediate addressing mode. And number 5, implicit addressing modes. So these are the total 5 addressing mode. Each of these addressing mode we'll be seeing now in brief. So these are the names of addressing mode, okay, that we have in this particular chapter, and each of these addressing mode will fall some of the instructions. Okay, now see here. Now the very first addressing mode that I started with is register addressing mode. In this addressing mode, a register contains the operand. A register means what? A, B, C, D. So these register contains operand. Operand is nothing but the 8-bit binary data. Okay, depending upon the instructions, the register may be the first operand, the second operand, or both. So depending upon the instruction that we write, so depending on that instruction, the register may be the first operand, the first value, or the second value, or both the values. Okay, if it is a 16-bit instruction, it will be there will be 2 values. Okay, 8 plus 8, 16. Okay, if it is an 8-bit instruction, there will be only 1 value. So hence it is said the register may be the first operand, second operand, or both. So the operands are one of the internal registers of 8085. See, your example in this addressing mode is move A, B, add C. Okay, these are the instruction names. Now you will not be understanding these instructions, So you will have to study this addressing mode definition and the examples that I have written here, the instruction name. So move A comma B is an instruction, add C is an instruction name. Okay, so these instructions we'll be studying when we start with the instructions. Okay, so I have told you all that we have 120 instructions. So among these, the 2 instructions are the examples that I have written. Okay, so when we start with the instructions in more briefly or deeply, you will be understanding the example that I have written here. So just see the example, that's it. So the next addressing mode is register indirect addressing mode. So in this addressing mode, the address of the operand is specified by a register pair. Okay, so the register pair is most of HL register pair. We do not use any other register pair in this indirect addressing mode. So the address of that operand is specified by a register pair, and that register pair is nothing but the HL register pair. Okay, so the register pair that I told you all. So if we write M or alphabet M, which is nothing but the memory, okay, memory location in the particular kit. So that memory location that is specified by this register pair. Then move is the operation. Now the example that I have written here is move A comma M. What it does, this instruction will move the content of M to A. Okay, so if we write move M comma A, then what it does, it will transfer the data of A to M. But since I have written A first and M second, so what it does, it will transfer the second register that I have written to the first register. Okay, so M is nothing but a memory location specified by an HL register pair. So how will you explore this particular instruction move A comma M? In this instruction, the content of the memory location which is specified by the HL register pair is moved or is transferred to accumulator or register A. Okay, this instructions that I have written, move and all, you will be understanding more nicely in the instructions. But since I have to tell you the addressing mode, so I have to start with this particular topic first. So first was register addressing, second was register indirect addressing mode. In this addressing mode, we mostly use a register pair that is HL, that is M. Okay. Now the third addressing mode is direct addressing mode. In this addressing mode, the address of the operand is given to the instruction itself. Okay, so the address that we write with that instruction is given to the instruction itself. Okay, the address is always given to the instruction that we write in front of the data, that is operand. Okay, so example I have written here LDA 2500H. 2500H is the data that I have written along with this instruction LDA, which stands for load accumulator direct. Okay, as I have told you all, I'll show you the instructions, each of the instruction one by one more briefly. So you all just see the example here. So LDA 2500H, 2500H is an operand, H is a hexalocation. Okay, so 2500 is a 16-bit number, correct? How? Because 25 becomes an 8-bit, 00 becomes again 8-bit. So total it is an 16-bit instruction, 16-bit data. So what it does, this instruction, it will load the accumulator directly into this particular operand that I have written. So hence it is said that in this addressing mode, the address is always given to the instruction itself. Okay, and the accumulator is nothing but the destination. So the data is always loaded into the accumulator, you can say. Okay, so the data that we write in front of LDA 2500, or if you consider 3500, but always 4 numbers, since it is a 16-bit data that you have to show. So that data is always loaded into the accumulator. Okay, and nowhere else. Now the next addressing mode is immediate addressing mode. Immediate addressing mode, since it is an immediate addressing mode, we have all the instructions which have I in those instructions. See here in the example, can you see MBI, ADI? So I stands for immediate, and what it does, it transfers the immediate data into the register that we have written. So immediate addressing mode means the operand is specified within this instruction the operand itself is provided in the instruction rather than the address. Okay, the example that I have written here is MVI A, 15H. So what it does, it will transfer the immediate data. Which immediate data? 15H is the immediate data that will be transferred to the accumulator or register A, you can see. The next instruction I have written ADI 3EH. H is always a hexadecimal number that we have to give along with each of the data that we write. Okay, so that is a unit that we write. Okay, so ADI 3EH. So what it does, this will add. AD stands for add. Okay, add immediate data. I always stands for immediate. So add immediate data 3EH into the accumulator. See here, I have written how I have written A and then arrow A plus 3E. So A accumulators data will be added with the data that I have written with the instruction, that is 3EH, and that addition of these two data will be stored in the register A itself. Okay, so this was immediate addressing mode, and the last addressing mode that we have here is implicit addressing mode. So in this, what happens, if the address of the source of the data as well as the address of the destination of the result is fixed, then there is no need to give any operand along with the instruction. Okay, so we do not have operand. Operand means we do not have data anywhere in this particular addressing mode. We only have the instruction name. So in the previous addressing mode, we always used to specify the data either 8-bit or 16-bit. But here, since it is an implicit addressing mode, we do not have operand here. We only have the instruction bus. We only have the instruction itself, bus. Okay, now CMA is an example of implicit addressing mode. CMA stands for complement accumulator. You need to study the instruction along with the full form. Okay. So CMA stands for complement accumulator. CMA is nothing but the instruction. A is the source and A is the destination also. So the source and destination is the same since there is no operand. So what it does, it will complement the content of accumulator. Which complement? Ones or twos, it will ones complement. Okay, CMA means ones complement. So whatever the data of accumulator, if you consider any data for the accumulator, that the data will get complemented, that is one's complement will be performed to that particular accumulator data, and after performing the one's complement of the accumulator data, the result is again stored in the accumulator. So hence it is stored, hence it is said that A is the source also and A is the destination also. So this was my last slide of the addressing mode. So today we'll complete with this video. In the next video we'll continue with the same chapter. Okay, thank you. I hope you all are taking down the slides that I'm writing in a paper or in a book. Maintain a separate book for both the subjects. Okay, thank you students.